All right, guys. Happy Tuesday. Look like we are on live. We're on live. Okay. Elaine Proby, CEO of Proby Tax and Accounting, and tips from Elaine's desk. All right, guys. I don't know what happened to our video here today, but welcome back to Tips from Elaine's desk with our Tuesday afternoon conversation. Today, we're going to talk about employee management and HR practices. Now, this is the deal, right? A lot of us with businesses feel like, we can do everything by ourselves, but eventually, you're going to have to hire someone to help you with your business. And two, because your business is going to be growing so well, you're going to also need, more than one person or more employees. So this is definitely for those people who have to have an employee or some employees who already have employees. We're going to talk about some management and some HR practices. A lot of companies get in trouble for this. And again, one of the things that can just ruin your business, literally financially, is if you go ahead and ignore some of these employees management skills, right? So you do not want to do this. Make sure that you're on point. Everybody make sure that they get this information today, guys. Hit like and share on this video, all right? So employee management and HR practices. I'm going to jump right into this. And let's get, 3 major points, right? Serious things that you have to know as an employer. And again, it doesn't matter if you have one person working for you or you have a bunch of people working for you. These practices are the same. An employee is an employee, whether that's one person or whether it's 100 people. Okay, so we have to know these things. So let's just jump into the first point today. You have to create an inclusive and a productive work culture, right? And inclusive is exactly what that is. Employees got to feel inclusive. They got to feel like they're a part of the workspace. One thing you don't want to do is to have employees working for you and they feel totally excluded from the company's business, from the operation, especially the department they're working in. They have to feel inclusive, right? And you must create the atmosphere for this to happen. You don't want people to work for you and they feel like they're just not in the loop or they're just not a part of the production. They're not important enough for your business for them to feel inclusive. So you have to create an inclusive environment. You also want to make sure that you hire people who are willing to work with others, no matter what. People of diverse background, people of different color, people from, you have to make sure that people are willing to work with anyone, no matter what race they are, no matter what, what their color is, no matter what their background is. You have to have people all working as a diverse culture. And everyone could feel inclusive because this is the kind of atmosphere that you're creating. These are the people that you're hiring. And so one of the reasons for the company to really literally grow and you're not boxing yourself into a space is what is hiring people of diverse culture, people that come from different places, different nationalities, different skin color, different gender, different sexual orientation. All this stuff, you have to make sure that across the board, that you're open, people are open-minded, and so that way everyone can feel inclusive and be treated fairly. And this is going to create productivity in your business. Okay, very, very important. Another thing is be transparent with the people that work for you. Be transparent with your employees, guys. It's okay to have small conversation like, how is the family doing? How are the kids doing? How is school? How is the graduation? It doesn't have to be long conversation. People want to feel like they're a part of what's going on, and you can't come to work every day and feel totally excluded. So you can say simple stuff like, how is the spouse? How is your partner? How is the kids? How's everything going? People want to make sure the employees want to feel like they're a part of your day-to-day activity, which they are. They're there every single day. And you can be transparent as well with your situation. So people wants to make sure that if you care about their well-being, and therefore they're going to be more productive. And by them being more productive, it's going to definitely allow your business to flourish. All right. We have to be aware of these things. And again, it doesn't matter if you have one employee working for you or you have 100 employees working for you, guys. The practices should remain the same. Okay. So once again, you want to provide a diverse culture and make sure all the employees are inclusive. It doesn't matter what race they are, what skin color they are. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. You just make sure everyone work together. Everyone feel like they're a part of this engine that's driving the force of your business operation in order for you to be successful and for them to be successful, right? So this is the first point: creating an inclusive and productive work culture. People will not be productive if they don't feel like they're a part of it and they don't feel appreciated. Appreciated. That's the word. You got to do that. So that's the first point today, guys. Employee management and HR practices. Hi, sis, little bullies. Thanks for jumping on here. You guys hit like and share on this video. And what we're talking about is, making sure that our employees are treated fairly in order for them to be productive in your business. Okay. All right. Hi, Rod Smith. Thanks for jumping in. Very importantly, the second point, guys, and this is super important. I've seen so many companies go down financially because of not adhering to this. And this second point, understanding employment laws. Now, those of you, again, 1 employee, 100 employee, employment laws, there's some stuff about that you must understand. Now, I've seen business got into major financial trouble because they don't follow these rules and regulations. Now, I'm just going to talk about 4 or 5 or 6 of the major ones from the federal law perspective, and most of the states follow these rules. Again, the employment laws are to ensure that things are done fairly in the workplace for the employee and the employer. Now, some of us seem to think that they're going to make these laws for employees, but it also protects the employer. Okay, so don't just feel like this is all about the employee, it's about you as well. It's making sure that you have a safe workplace for your employees. So there are some federal rules that we must adhere to. And if you do nothing else, make sure you know these, okay? So I'm going to point out a few of them today. The first federal point that we have to follow, understanding employee laws, is the Civil Rights Act. The Civil Rights Act. And this is where you cannot discriminate based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. You cannot discriminate based on that. So you cannot run any operation, and you cannot not hire someone based on any of these things. So very important. Make sure that you know this, guys, because if you perpetrate any of these, you are in violation, and it can lead to legal ramification and can cost you a lot of money. So the first one is the Civil Rights Act. No race, color, creed, religion, sex, and none of that stuff you cannot just discriminate on. Second one is Americans with Disabilities Act. You cannot discriminate based on disabilities. So these laws, again, you must make sure that you hire. The other one is the age discrimination. So you cannot not hire a person because you feel they're either too old, too young, there's an age problem there. You cannot discriminate based on age, all right? So have to keep that in mind. There's the Equal Pay Opportunity Act. You have to obey that law. You can't decide that you're going to pay someone based on, how you feel about them. If the job requires a certain pay, you must pay that salary to that employee, whether they are male, female, it doesn't really matter. Equal Pay Opportunity Act of 1963. We have to follow those rules, all right? Another one is the Fair Labor Standards Act. You have to be fair about hiring, and there are places you can go and you can feel like maybe you've been discriminated on, right? But you have to be able to pinpoint why you feel like you've been discriminated on. Maybe they didn't hire you because of color, they didn't hire you because of religion or whatever that is. If you're able to identify any of those things, guys, as an employer, you can then wind up with a lawsuit that can cost you lots and lots of money. Be very careful not to discriminate, that follow these laws. And a lot of states, they adapt to the federal laws and they have some of their own. So make sure you know these stuff. Very important. Again, I've seen businesses who have to pay out sometimes up to millions of dollars based on discrimination. Okay, so very important. We can't take it very lightly. It's super important. All right, Miss Sean Smith. Hey, Auntie, how are you? Hey, Nisa, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on here, Rod Smith. Hello, sis. Thanks for jumping in. All right, guys, we're talking today about employee management and HR practices. Just some very important point as an employer. As a business owner, again, you don't have to be a major corporation. If you are a self-employed individual and you hire one person, you got to follow these rules, or again, it can really sink you financially. Third point, you have to have performance management and employee development skills. And this is so important for your business to grow. And it starts at the top, right? It starts at the top. Management or the owner, you guys have to be able to build your business around employees, try to develop their skills, try to encourage them, try to have brainstorming section, try to hear them out, get their opinions, make sure that it's valuable. And, you have to pay attention to all this stuff, because once you have this kind of core group working for you, you can't help but to succeed. Super important, right? You have to cultivate an environment where people feel like they can voice their opinion. Their opinion counts. You pay attention to it. If it works, something you need to do, and brainstorm, bring good ideas. So focus on the goals, and then everybody coming together and put it into fruition. And so you have a great operation that's going to be successful for the business. This is a whole outcome that you want. Okay, so developing employee skills is super important. And again, in order for you to do that, it takes you as the owner, as the management team, and then it takes the employee that you're working with for everyone to come together and develop those skills. And I think that is super important, because one of the things that we have a tendency to do, because we think that we know everything, we can handle everything, we can do everything, and you want to feel like, well, maybe their voice and their opinion doesn't really matter. And sometimes they even have the best solution to whatever the problem might be, and not you. Sometimes the employee is the one that come up with the best solution. Okay, so make sure that from management perspective, from the owner perspective, guys, you create that type of culture so that the employees can voice their opinion, they can brainstorm, they can come together and work out problems to get to the goals that you really want to achieve in the business. The only way you can grow, the only way the business can prosper is by doing that. So those are my 3 points today. Very important. And this is the thing. We have a tendency to feel like we know it all, we're going to do it all. But at some point or another, you're going to hire, even if it's one person, to help you. And in order for you to be more successful in the business, is to understand at least these 3 points that I'm making today when it comes to employee management and HR practices. Okay, so let me recap. Okay, first point today is creating an inclusive, productive work culture where everyone feel like they're a part of the operation. And it doesn't matter their skin color. It doesn't matter what their background is. None of this stuff matters. It doesn't matter what their gender is, guys. You have to hire people that can work together, all inclusive. And so this way, everyone can put their strengths, everyone can really give their ideas, and everyone can work together for the betterment of the company. You have to make sure that they're transparent, and people want to feel like you are, you care about their well-being. So it's okay to have those conversations. How is everything going? How is the kids? How is school? Or just small conversation, and be transparent with yours as well. They love it. They feel like you're a part of the operation, and everyone works and they're more productive. Okay, definitely. Number 1, create an inclusive and productive work culture. Second point, understanding employment laws. Oh my God, again, I have a company that literally had to close. Some of them having to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars because they don't focus on these laws, guys, and you can get sued. You have to make sure that you stick to these rules. The Civil Rights Act, you cannot discriminate based on any race or color, religion, sex, none of this stuff. You have to make sure the American Disabilities Act you adhere to. You can't discriminate based on age. You can't discriminate based on any of these, the equal opportunity pay. Know these things, very important. I know this sounds like, oh my God, well, why don't you have to know this stuff if you have 1 employee or 100 employees, or you can get sued, and financially it could really, really take you down and put the business in jeopardy. Okay, so very important. And those are the 3 points I want to make today. The third one is the performance management and employee development skills. You have to have brainstorming crew that you put together, make sure the employees are working together. They can come together to work through goals and get to, the finish line, and that their ideas and counts. Make sure that their ideas count. You value it, you value their opinion, and work through it as a team. All inclusive. So this is how you develop employee skills, okay? Working together as a team. So those are the 3 points I want to make today. Very important. We never hit on stuff that has to do with employees, but again, almost every client that I have that is in business has at least 1 employee. And of course, they have to make sure that they pay attention to this stuff, especially the employment laws. You do not want to wind up with a lawsuit, okay? You don't want to wind up with a lawsuit. It can devastate the business financially. So those are the 3 points I want to make today. All right, so that brings us to, we're going to have another panel. Very exciting. I'm super excited about this. Another business power brunch. All of you guys who were there got a lot out of it. Everyone had a wonderful time, great information. So we're going to do this again in July. The 22nd, July 22nd, guys. So look for the information at elainesdesk.com so you can sign up. This one is going to be great. This is going to be a lot of good information for those people who are, one, in business, and two, want to get their business started, taking everything to the next level. And since this is going to be the second half of the year, it's going to give you new, fresh breath of fresh air to motivate yourself so you can end up through the year and be strong when it comes to December. So everyone's going to need this power breath, which we're having on July the 22nd. So go to elainesdesk.com for that information. And for those of you who still need to get that business going, still confused about what you got to do, there's lots of information on there that you can get. So make sure that you guys do that. And of course, you can also book a 15-minute free consultation with me if you were still confused. Okay. So, and it's okay. It's okay to be confused. There's a lot of stuff. I know it's a lot of stuff. It's okay to be confused. So go to probystacks.com and there's a calendar there. You can book 15-minute free consultation financially, personal and business wise, whatever it is that you need to know, whatever you need to know to get you going, you know, to get this ball rolling so you can get to that finish line. Okay. If you don't get started, you won't be able to finish. So let's just get the ball rolling. 2023 is our year. So there's a lot of money out there for everybody. So let's go and get yours. Make sure you get your share of it, right? Okay, so with that said, guys, Proby Tax and Accounting as well. If you haven't done your taxes, we have an accounting department, payroll, taxes. If you want to set up your corporation, your LLC, we are able to do that too. And most of the time, we don't want you to have this, but if you do have a tax problem, we can also help you resolve that as well. And you do not have to come to the office. Everything is done virtually. There's a lot of qualified professionals at Proby that can help you with that. So with that said, I think that brings us to where we are every Tuesday and Thursday. Come back here for some other great information. Hit like and share on this video, guys. Get everyone this information. There's a lot of folks who's not able to be on because they are at work. They come back through here and they listen to these videos and they take away a lot of great stuff from it. So on Thursday, we are going to be speaking of, I love this one, 3 resilience and stress management tools. Don't we all need this, right? Stress management tools. We need this every day. We have to be reminded of how to release things that we need to do to release every single day. There's a whole lot of challenges that go through our daily lives, personal, business, and everything else that we got going on. Okay, so Thursday, come right back here at 1 p.m. and we're going to talk about 3 resilience and stress management tools. I'm going to love this because I know I need this myself. All right. So with that said, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday afternoon. And I will see you guys back here on Thursday. All right. With that said, I want you guys to take care of each other and take care of yourself. Thanks. Bye-bye.